Órale, there we are. All right, man. Cule to all the chingones and chingonas, man. Cholo Choque Los Tres Chingones boxing here at you, Holmes. Man, there's a lot of things going around in the sport of boxing right now. We did have a fight over the weekend, which I'm not going to spend a lot of time on because there wasn't really that much spectacular things going on, Holmes. But I do want to talk a little bit about it, and then I want to get into a couple of things that are swirling around in the world of boxing, dog. So, first of all, let's go ahead and let's just get into just a few of these fights that went over the weekend. I don't want to spend too much time on it, so let's just go ahead and get into it. So the main event, Stephen Shaw versus Efe Ajagba. Heavyweight fight. It was the main event on ESPN. Nothing really to talk about there. It was somewhat of a sleeper. I mean, it was okay, but not really for it to be a main event, right? On ESPN, where I have criticized before, like, hey, why are you putting guys on apps and stuff like that? Put them on regular ESPN, regular Showtime, and let these guys grow. But you put a fight like this on, and it's the main event, and it's a little bit of a sleeper. Damn it, dog! It does kind of hurt the product, and it goes against my argument. So I don't really like the fact that this was the main event, but oh well. I was actually predicting a knockout on this one. But look, Stephen Shaw, um, you got to get active. You got to get active, man. You're not active enough. You're doing a lot of movement, but you're not active. So, he loses the fight. They gave it to Efe Ajagba, and rightfully so. He did win the fight, but in no spectacular way. There was no, not much to see here. So, then that was the main event. The fight that I really wanted to get to was the one that I told everybody to go watch. Now, this was the main event on ESPN Plus, not on regular ESPN, but on ESPN Plus. Before they moved over to the main network. What's up, Andres? How about that ref? It was a headbutt. Yeah, we'll definitely get to that, man. It was a good fight though. The main event, I didn't really like it, man. Efe Ajagba and Stephen Shaw, I didn't really care for the fight too much. It was okay. It was okay. But Abraham Nova versus Adam Lopez, I had told everybody, hey, make sure you watch this fight. This is the, finger quotes main event on ESPN Plus, right? Now that was a good fight. That fight I did like. Abraham Nova versus Adam Lopez. Okay. If you guys just watched the ESPN fights, then you did not see this one because this was on ESPN Plus. This was a good fight. They went back and forth. Um, I thought Abraham Nova was having a good match. He was doing what he needed to do, man. Adam Lopez was trying to play a little bit of catch up, and he was getting tagged. Now, both guys got hit pretty cleanly. It was good back and forth, but there was no doubt that Abraham Nova was winning this fight, with his orange beard. There was no doubt that he was definitely winning this fight. If I had to guess, I would say Adam Lopez, just from the eyeball view, I would have probably given him about 3 rounds. 3 rounds that I would say, yeah, he won those 3 rounds. Um, was it a complete dominant performance on Abraham Nova? No, it wasn't. Adam Lopez was definitely in this fight, but he was losing the rounds. Now, something that I do want to get to here. Adam Lopez, if people did not pay attention, towards the later rounds, and I think maybe even the last round, he was rushing with the crown of his head. It really looked like he was trying to headbutt Abraham Nova. You guys go check it out again. I rewinded it and I was like, look at this guy. He's crouching down, squatting down, and then launching himself forward with the crown of his head, trying to make contact on Abraham's face. Now, I don't know how much damage Adam Lopez would have really done because he's got a big mop on his head. He goes to the same barber as Sideshow Bob. So a lot of hair. I'm not sure how much of the crown of the head Abraham Nova was really gonna feel. But look, good fight. I don't think Adam ever really hurt Nova to the point where it was changing the course of the fight. However, I will say Adam was hurt. And in that last round, if there were just 5 more seconds, I truly believe Adam Lopez was going down. But the kid's got heart. You know, I give him that. He was down. He did get back up. The kid's got heart. He did take some good shots. But definitely would give Adam Lopez that. The kid does got heart. A little bit of dirty tactics there, trying to, rush with the crown of his head, almost like in the NFL where they're like, hey, you got to lead with your shoulder, right? And you see guys going with the crown of their helmet, and that's illegal. That's kind of what he was doing there towards the end of the fight. So I think somebody needs to call him out on that. But nonetheless, congratulations to Abraham Nova. It was a good fight, man. I enjoyed it. In my opinion, I thought it was probably the best fight of the night. Again, that was on ESPN Plus. That was not on regular ESPN. So, but I thought it was the best fight of the night. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, let's see what happens with Adam Lopez from here, because he's still a good fighter, and the guy is a warrior. He's taking some punishment though, getting in there. But yeah, we'll definitely see what happens with that. Okay. This this next fight, it wasn't really the fight that I want to talk about. It's what took place that brought the fight to a close. Right? I'm talking about Johnny Rice and Italian guy. What's his name? What was his name? Shoot. Guido. Dang it, I forgot his name. What the heck was his name? Goes to show that I don't really prepare. Dang it. I just had his name on the top of my head too. Vianello. Vianello, that's his name. Okay, Vianello. Okay, Guido Vianello. That was his name. Okay, the fights were in regular ESPN 2. Andres, I think you had 2 fights that were on regular ESPN. All the other prelims were on ESPN Plus. But yeah, this is one. This is the first fight that I'm talking about that was on regular ESPN. Vianello versus Johnny Rice. Now, this was an okay fight. Okay, I'm not gonna crap all over this fight. It was an okay fight, but here's the thing. The main thing about this fight was the fact that Johnny Rice landed a clear, crisp, straight right on Vianello. busted his eye open, his eyebrow, right above the eye. Okay. As soon as that punch lands, you could see blood dripping on Vianelo's chest. Now, that round is over. I forgot what round that was. Might have been like the 7th or so, 6th. And they come back out of the corner. Referee calls time. According to the broadcast team, the referee never ruled what it was, whether it was a punch, whether it was a headbutt, whether it was an elbow, whether it was a shoulder. The referee never ruled. He never said what caused his eye to be busted open. The gash, and it was a bad cut, Holmes. If you guys saw it, it was a bad cut. Doctor looks at it. Doctor says, no more. We can't have this guy go back out with this. Look, it was a bad gash. Just looking at it, I'm not a doctor. I'm like, okay, look, they should probably stop it. And they did. Now, the referee, it's that, oh man, what's his name? It's the referee that looks like Raul Julia from the Addams Family. Kind of looks like Cantinflas, his mustache. Well, anyway, he immediately says, we go to the scorecards. It was due to an accidental headbutt. Now, here's the issue that I have with this, okay? Was he just guessing? Most likely. And why do I say he was just guessing? Here's why I believe he was just guessing. Because I went back in that same round, and there wasn't even them close to being a clash of heads. So I don't know where he comes off and saying it was an accidental clash of heads. Now, immediately, Joe Tessitore and the rest of the broadcast crew are all like, no, it was clearly a punch. They're showing the replay to the audience that's watching it, right? That's us watching it on ESPN. And we're looking and we're like, yeah, I mean, it's clearly a punch. And by the way, just to make it clear, it's not like these vatos were fighting in the phone booth, Holmes, where their heads were real close and a punch happens to land and bust them open. No, this was a crisp, clear, long distance, straight right. If these guys were in close quarters, fighting in the phone booth, doing the whole shoe shine and everything, and then a punch lands right there and busts them open, okay, I can understand. You didn't really see what was it? Was it a punch? Did these guys collide heads? What's going on here? But that was not the case on this. What's up, Hectic? But that was not the case here. This was long distance, straight right, clearly landed. And right after that, what, a second later, you see blood dripping onto his chest. So I don't know where the referee gets off saying like it was a headbutt, because I went back in that round. I did not see anything remotely even close to a headbutt. I'm not talking about just that one punch. I'm talking about the whole round. So they are fighting. Okay, the decision comes down that they're going to go to the scorecards, which in this case, everybody, what's his name? Benji. Isn't that the referee's name? Benji something. I forgot. I'm telling you, he looks like a character from the Addams Family. Let me see. He clearly split that eye with a punch. It was good. Everybody got involved. Bet ref felt dumb. Yeah, 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 man. Immediately, everybody starts. The corner of Johnny Rice starts. Hey, man, he landed a punch. Like, what are you talking about? He's not like, no, no, it was a headbutt. Well, you know, I don't have instant review, man, and stuff like that. And they're talking like, "Oh, we don't do instant review here," and da da da, yeah, yeah, da. And again, man, it gets me kind of upset because I'm like, well, why not? Why not just get it right? I don't understand this hard stance of like, hey, there's no instant review here. So whatever the ref says, that's just what we go with. When you can clearly see, everybody can clearly see what happened. And hey, Holmes, on the real, I know it kind of sounds like I'm being harsh on the ref, but I get it, dog. Look, everybody makes a mistake here and there. I got it. But I don't understand this stance that everybody needs to stand on. Like, well, no such thing as review here. So, oh, well. When everybody can see what really happened, what's really going on here. The ref got it wrong, and that's okay. The referees are human. I understand. This one was kind of off to me because I'm like, wait a second, Holmes. There was no such thing. There wasn't even close to a headbutt here, and he hit that one straight right by long distance. But oh well. It's not to cramp on the referees. It's just to say, hey, Holmes, referees are human, and they're going to miss some things here and there. But we could go back. We could see it, get it right. We don't have to live and die on this whole, hey, man, that's what the referee ruled it. That's what he ruled it. Oh, well. Even though everybody sees that that's the wrong call. Oh, well. I don't like that, dog. I don't like that because that makes it easier to get referees corrupt. Not to say that referees are corrupt, okay? Don't mistake what I'm saying, but that makes it a lot easier to corrupt referees. When somebody, trip and the referee ruled it a knockdown. When somebody gets knocked down and the referee did not rule it a knockdown. Why can't we? I don't understand. What's with this live and die with what the referee says? Now, the right thing happened here. Okay, they were fighting somewhere. They weren't fighting in New York City. They're fighting, I think, on a reservation or somewhere in New York State. And I remember Joe Tessitore saying, "Hey, we're fighting somewhere on this reservation here in New York or something like that, and that they can do whatever they want. They can, bend the rules, make the rules however they want because it's their land or something along that line." I'm just kind of paraphrasing here. And boy, did they ever! And it was the right call because immediately they start telling them, "Hey, look." It was a punch. It wasn't a headbutt. They start debating there with the referee, and it's like, look, this. That's not what happened. There was no headbutt. It was a punch. It was clearly a punch. Everybody starts getting at the referee. He's like, hey, man, I don't know. I don't have, I can't review it. Whatever. Da da da. I guess wherever they're at, they're able to just make up the rules as they go, and that's fine with me because they went ahead, they did it. The referee goes down to Joe Tessitore. Joe Tessitore, who's calling the fight, shows him the replay. Referee looks at it, agrees it was by a punch. They change it up and say, okay, it was by a punch. Guess what? TKO. No need to go to the scorecards. It was caused by a punch, and that was the right call. That was the right decision. What gets me upset is why do we not do this more in the sport of boxing? Can we get rid of this? Let's live and die with whatever the referee says. Look, if it's close, then I get it. If it's like, well, yeah, you can make an argument this way, then you can make an argument that way. Then you know what? Stick with what the referee said. But when it's crystal clear as day that the referee got it wrong, I don't understand why we need to stick with his call. When Bubu Andrade got knocked down, he got knocked down. That was a knockdown. But we got to live and die with what the referee rules. Okay. All right. That's an issue because the referees could get corrupted that way. I don't like that. I want everybody to remember that. You can corrupt referees that way. Hey, whatever the camera shows doesn't matter. It's what the referee says. Let's see. That call would have devastated boxing if it stood. I agree, Andres. I agree. And I would like, more eyeballs to get on that. Maybe not the entire fight, but just that situation right there where boxing can say, okay, you know what? We cannot allow this. We need to actually start implementing this. When it's something that is clear as day, Holmes, when it's clear as day, there's no debate here. There's no, hey, what did you see? And I'll tell you what I saw. No, it's clear as day. We all saw the same thing. Nobody saw anything different. Nobody saw a headbutt. So when it's that clear, regardless of where the fight is at, I don't even care where the fight is at. Why can't we do this and get it right? So basically what's being said, if this fight did not take place wherever it took place, I forgot where it was, like on a reservation or something where they could bend and make the rules however they go. But you're telling me if this fight was somewhere else where they cannot do that, the headbutt called would have stand? It would have stood? Damn, are you kidding me? How ridiculous is that? Talk about paying referees off, Holmes. That is just crazy to me, man. Let me see. Rice was the underdog, in my opinion. They don't want to pay up when the favorites lost. It's about money, in my opinion. Well, I mean, it's always about money. It's always about Fedia. What's up, Raider? Let me see. UFC even has replay. Why not boxing? Something like that happens. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it, man. Referees are humans. They make mistakes. Yes. I'm not gonna look. I'm not here to beat up on referees, man. Hey, you make a mistake, you make a mistake. It's all right, man. But let's get it right. Let's get it right. And I'm glad they got it right. I'm glad they got it right. But it's like, damn, dog, if this fight took place somewhere else where they cannot bend the rules, that call would have stood and they would have gone to the scorecards. That is ridiculous, Holmes. That is beyond ridiculous. But anyway, man. So that was the fights over the weekend. I mean, it was, you know what? Look, to me, in my opinion, dog, the fights on ESPN Plus were much more exciting than the two fights on regular ESPN. They just were, man. I really enjoyed the fight between Abraham Nova and Adam Lopez. But with that, let's go ahead and get just to a little bit of things that are going on in boxing. I only got a few minutes left. Um, Obviously, everybody's still waiting for the Ryan Garcia Tank Davis fight to be announced, if it's ever going to be announced. De La Hoya came out and said, like, hey, man, the deadline is on Monday. Well, guess what, Holmes? Monday already passed. But apparently, they're still negotiating. So I I don't know what that means. Okay. I don't know what that means. I can't really tell you guys what that means. Is this fight going to be made? Is it not going to be made? I don't know. I don't know. There's people that are very skeptical about it, that it's not going to be made. Um, I've talked to Ryan Garcia's brother. He's a good friend of mine, and he's optimistic, man. He's optimistic. I'll see if I can try to get him on. Hopefully this Friday. See if he could give us a little bit of insight. As a matter of fact, he interviewed his dad, which is also Ryan Garcia's dad, on his podcast. Ryan Garcia's brother, Bobby Garcia, has a podcast. It's not a boxing podcast. It's called Street Pulse Exclusive. And, his dad was on there. Ryan Garcia's dad was on there saying, like, yeah, this fight's going to happen. But I think, I think when the camera's on, I think you got to say all the right things. So let's see if we could get, I'll hit up Bobby, see if I could get him on for Friday, man. So we'll see if that happens. But I do want to say this. Lomachenko and Devin Haney, I do not see that fight on the schedule yet. Apparently, that fight is going to be announced, that it's a done deal. I'm hearing that it's agreed, which, again, I'm always skeptical, Holmes. You look, Holmes. Look, shout outs to all the chingones on here, man. You guys know boxing, dog. It's a soap opera, right? So whenever we hear like, hey, they agreed to, and then they put out a date out there. But it's like, well, hold on, they agreed, or is the fight made? Because as of now, I still don't see Lomachenko versus Haney on the schedule. Do I want to see that fight? Hell yeah, I do. Yeah, of course. I have yet to see it on the schedule. I keep on hearing a date. I forgot what date. I mean, maybe one of you guys know what date it is. I believe it's in March. I keep hearing a date, and I keep hearing they agreed. Well, agreeing doesn't mean that the fight's made, Holmes. So, I'm not just going to take that and run with it. Let me see. I don't think the fight happens. I don't know, Andres. I don't know, man. I hope it does. There are no negotiations going on of what I have heard. I think they're just waiting for Tank's court date to see what happens. That could be true, Raider. That could be true. Tank gets in trouble with the law here and there. And I came out a while back when these allegations came out. And, now apparently the Heina came out and saying like, oh, you know what? It was my fault. I shouldn't have called the cops. I overreacted, whatever it may be. But let me ask you guys this. If you can only have one fight, just one, which one would you rather watch? Would you rather want it to be Vasily Lomachenko versus Devin Haney, or would you rather see Tank versus Ryan? There can only be one. Which one would you guys rather pick? Ryan versus Tank or Haney versus Loma? Now, I truly believe that people don't like Tank and people don't like Ryan. So they'll probably kind of lean towards Loma and Haney. But I'm telling you guys right now, action wise, and what's a better fight for me to be entertained? It's Tank versus Ryan, homie. Not to say that Haney versus Lomachenko will be boring and that it'll suck and I'm not interested. I want to see both of those damn fights. But if I can only pick one, it's Ryan versus Tank. Andres says Tank versus Ryan. I agree. I agree. Tank and Ryan only because there would be a knockout. Okay. Okay. Andres, 100% Tank versus Ryan. Okay. I'm not arguing that. That's the way I would go as well. Here's the point that I'm trying to make, right? Is that Loma versus Haney is for all the marbles. It's for all the canicas, Holmes. That should be the big mega fight that everybody should be choosing. A while back, Ryan Garcia said belts don't matter. And a lot of people gave him heat about that. And as I sat back and I kind of thought about it, I'm like, well, it's not that they don't matter. It depends who has the belts. In a way, he's right. In a way, he is right. Just because you're champion doesn't mean people want to see you fight. I mean, Tank Davis has that little Mickey Mouse belt. And by the way, if this fight happens, it happens at a catch weight at 136. And by the way, if you want to talk about pay-per-views, which one do you think is making more money? Loma versus Haney or Tank versus Ryan? One of them is for undisputed champion of the world, Holmes. And I'm telling you guys right now, that one is not even coming close to making the amount of money that the Ryan versus Tank will. So, you know, for everybody that was giving Ryan Garcia and maybe you don't like Ryan, and that's okay, dog. I'm not gonna defend him. I got my own criticism of him as well. But I think he kind of, you know, I think he kind of opened up some eyes when he said that. When he said belts don't matter. Because if he fights Tank Davis, who the heck is not going to watch that? Whether it's for Tank Davis's little Mickey Mouse belt or not, nobody cares about that. People just want to see that fight. And it really got me thinking. I'm like, yeah, Holmes, I'm being real. I belts, like, yeah, people should be interested in the champion, but not everybody is. Because there are times that the champion's not that exciting. Devin Haney, good boxer. Yes, absolutely. I give him all the props in the world. He went to the Thunder Down Under, Holmes. He went south of the equator and got all the belts. Give him all the credit in the world. I'll be real, though. Is he that fun to watch? Not really. I do want to see him fight. I do enjoy watching him fight. He is the champion. He is the guy. But yeah, dog, I just keeping it real, man. I'm not really sure how relevant belts are. Yes, guys want to go on this run and, you know, unified titles and stuff of that nature. Yeah, of course, man. But I think Ryan kind of opened up the door here that people don't want to admit, and that door is, listen, Holmes, if you market yourself correctly and people want to see you in the ring and pay money to see you and turn on the TV and you get ratings, you don't need a belt to be, the guy. How do you determine who the guy is? Well, the one that everybody wants to watch. Because ultimately, there's a business and everybody's in the business of making money. So do you want to see a boring ass champion, or do you want to see a guy that's not champion, but damn, everybody wants to watch him? But yeah, Andres, who cares about belts? I mean, man, it could be headed that way. Let's just see good fights. I agree. I agree. I agree. So, and also just to finish it off, man, it looks like Jake Paul will be fighting Tommy Fury at the end of next month, I believe, man. So that will be Jake Paul fighting an actual boxer, maybe not a good boxer, but an actual boxer. We'll see if this fight materializes, man, because I am interested in that, regardless of what people say. I am interested in that fight because he'll be fighting an actual boxer. So that's what I've always wanted to see Jake Paul get in there with an actual boxer, not a good one. Doesn't have to be a good one, but an actual boxer. See what happens, man. But hey, chingones, chingonas. Again, man, tomorrow en español, mi hermanos will be here, and then we'll be back on Friday, man. To the next round, I'll catch you guys there.